everyone, if you're coming to McGill University or even just thinking about it, here's everything I wish I knew before coming to McGill University. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Tala and I recently finished my last exam and I'm graduating from McGill as a mechanical engineer with a minor in aerospace. But I think this is the right time for me to share all of my advices, my tips, and everything I know about McGill University. And I have all my questions written here, so we'll go through a lot of things today. So first thing I'm going to talk about today is McGill. So my first point is about McGill. So McGill University is one of the top universities here in Canada. It's also really known internationally as well, why McGill has a lot of international students coming to the university to learn. Some people call it the Harvard of Canada. So yeah, McGill is known for its programs, engineering, for medicine, for law, for business. It really has a lot of good professors, research, and opportunities. McGill is also located in downtown Montreal. Something I really love about McGill, have everything around it. Everything is walking distance from McGill University. Also have a metro station right next to the university, which makes it very easy to commute to. Coffee stores near campus, also a lot of libraries, malls, have Sainte Catherine, which is the main street to go shopping, have also a lot of restaurants, food options, a lot of bars, supermarkets. Everything is near McGill and this is what makes it really nice. So second thing I wanted to talk about is the program and the classes. So I'm sure that's one of the most important things you care about while picking a school. I'm talking about my personal experience and I cannot talk for everyone. Personally, I think that McGill has a lot of good programs. I found it to be a bit challenging. McGill has good professors, good research. Not gonna lie, some professors, of course, it's like every university. They're normal, like every other university, they might have very good professors and some not as good, but that's normal. But we have a lot of professors that have good research, also a lot of opportunities in terms of design teams, clubs, societies. McGill offers a lot of good things, but in terms of if the classes are challenging or not, yes, I would consider the classes to be challenging. I have a mechanical engineering background with an aerospace minor. Some exams are hard. Most exams are hard. I had to put a lot of work into my classes and understanding the content, which I enjoyed doing. So I know a lot of engineering students that would say the same, that it is challenging. Back in high school, I used to always get 20s over 20s. And when I got to McGill, I was not getting the 100%. And at the beginning, it was kind of frustrating. And I was like, not used to not getting those hundreds, but then I realized that it was normal. The level is much higher, it is more challenging. So don't feel discouraged. You're not like actually achieving what you used to be achieving, like the hundreds or whatever. It is very different from high school. Doing something that is more specific, we'll be learning a lot. But if you want to learn more specifically about how my program went, like my engineering program, and learning more about my mechanical and aerospace classes, do another video. So comment down below if you're interested in learning more about my engineering classes. So next thing I want to talk about is the campus life and the Montreal life. This is something I love about McGill, is that it has an amazing campus life. Actually, like I mentioned before, McGill is in the center of the downtown. You'll have a lot of things around McGill that you could do after classes with your friends or even during the evening. There's a lot of things always going on, and especially at Montreal has a very nice student life. The city is always full of energy. It makes the McGill student life really nice. McGill has a really nice campus where students like to go hang out. Even during the summer, picnics on the McGill campus or study outside. Also, there's always like events going on the McGill campus. For example, at the end of the year and at the beginning of the year, there's something called OAP, which is the open air pub of McGill. It happens on the campus. People go have a drink, listen to music, hang out with friends, have a hot dog or something. So the McGill campus has a really nice vibe. For example, McGill has something called Frosh. Frosh is a whole week and activities for students before their first week of university. Usually it happens end of August, I think, to meet people and integrate yourself within the McGill community. There's E-Week also. E-Week is the engineering week, and it's usually before every semester where engineering students or non-engineering students participate in a series of events to meet people, and you compete against different faculties. For example, the mechanical goes against the electricals or whatever. So it's really like a fun way to meet people and to have fun. McGill has a bar called Gertz and it's on campus. Usually students after class like to go to Gertz, and I'm gonna tell you something, McGill people love to party and there's always something going on. Don't worry, you will have fun if you want to go out and if you want to meet people. Another question I've been asked a lot is, do you need to speak French to be integrated in the city? The answer is no and yes. As you might know, Quebec is a French and English speaking province. No, you are not required to speak French. So at McGill, all of your classes are in English and most of the people outside of campus speak English. Once you come to apply for jobs, there's some jobs that prefer students that speak French and English. It could be like a bit of an issue in some jobs, not all of them. Honestly, I know many people that only speak English and it was not a big issue for them, but it still might have been an issue in some places applying for jobs. As I said, jobs don't require French, but some of jobs do. So Next up is housing. So I've gotten a lot of questions regarding housing. McGill has a lot of different dorm options. For example, it has RVC, Tade, New Res, Douglas, and most of the student residents are within 10 to 15 minute walk from McGill University, which makes it very convenient for students. Also, most of the residents at McGill has a dining hall, makes it very easy for students in terms of dining plans and food options. You won't need to cook. Prices of the rooms differ in terms of if you have a private bathroom, if you have a roommate, if you want a private room, etc. You can look at the website and see what would be best for you. I'll put the link below. You can find more information about the residents. Personally, I am Canadian, but I used to live my whole life in Lebanon, so my whole family is in Lebanon. When I came to Canada, I was by myself. I didn't know anyone. I decided to go to a student campus, which is Campus 1. Campus 1 is like a student dorm, but it is not directly affiliated with McGill. Students from any universities in Montreal, for example, Concordia, Polytechnique, ETS, McGill, should stay at Campus 1. And it was just a 10-minute walk away from McGill. And Campus 1 honestly was an amazing experience for me. I met a lot of people at Campus 1. It was a really good year. Do a lot of things with my friends. I basically lived with them. Even though I had my personal room, I felt that I was always living with all of my friends. We all lived in the same building and we always had something going on, studying together, so it was super fun for me. So I would really recommend it. I cannot talk for all residents because I didn't live there, but I'm sure they are good too. Talking specifically for Campus 1, I felt that Campus 1 was really safe, always security, 24 hours. Also have a meal plan, so you don't need to cook. It's easy for first year students to just go to the cafeteria to pick up food. And yeah, Campus 1 management team always had activities, trivia nights, movie nights, ways for you to meet people. So I would recommend personally Campus 1 for any McGill residents. So most of the students that live in the dorms move out after the first year. Dorms are really fun. You're always living with your friends. Then the second year, you'll want something that is more calm, more chill, where you have your own space, your own kitchen where you can cook, something more affordable too. Usually what students do is they go 1 year in res and then the next year they move out. If you want to live off campus, there's also a lot of options. If, for example, at the McGill ghetto, you can have roommates, you can go on Facebook Marketplace, or even there's a lot of McGill websites that you can like look for a roommate or look for apartments. Whether you're living at the McGill dorms or off campus, I'm sure you'll be able to meet friends. Okay, so the next thing is academic culture and tips. What I mean by academic culture is how to get through your undergraduate years at McGill and what advices I have. As I mentioned before, McGill can be hard and challenging, and if you're moving abroad to Montreal, it can be sometimes hard to come to a new city without your family and your support system. Yes, McGill is challenging. Don't be overwhelmed. Don't get very high grades as expected. Advice I would give to not fall behind. Always keep on track, so don't leave everything for the last minute. Something I would say is try to make friends and study with friends. Personally, at school, I didn't like to study with people. I used to think that I would be losing a lot of time. But when I came to university, I really enjoyed studying with my friends because I learned much more. And also, when you have friends in your class, you can share resources. If you have past exams, past notes, or any other kind of resources that would make you excel in that class. Sometimes students have previous exams, and some professors also tend to put past exercises in the midterm. If you have past exams and did the exercise beforehand, professor might put it again in the final or the midterm, which makes it good for you. Something I personally didn't do, but many people told me that they did and it really helped them, is to go to office hours. Most of the professors offer office hours to students, so you can go and ask them your questions. Personally, I never went to an office hour, but I honestly regret because all my friends told me that they learned a lot from those office hours. So instead of staying stuck hours on an exercise and not understanding what went wrong, go to the office hours and ask the professor the question and understand it even better. Also, I would say that McGill has a lot of resources, so online books. They also have like a lot of tutoring programs or wellness programs, hubs. So I would say make use of those resources because why not? You can, and it's free. I also realized that don't overstress about your grades. Like, of course, do the best as you can, but if you don't get the grades that you want, it's fine. Your grades don't define you, and most internships and jobs don't even ask for your grades. It's mostly your CV and what you did, clubs you're in, or projects you're working on. Yes, masters look at grades. Tips I would give for students at McGill or even in general: join design teams, join societies, try to get involved as much as possible. University years are those years where you're gonna be able to experiment the most, what you like, what you don't like, meet people, network, go to conferences, learn about the specific things that you like. I would really recommend to use those resources and to get involved. For example, McGill has a lot of clubs, a lot of events, so I would recommend you to go to all of those. Not all of those, depending on how much time you have, of course. But personally, I joined the McGill rocket team. I went with the McGill rocket team to New Mexico to launch our rocket in the Spaceport America competition. I went to Launch Canada to also launch the same rocket in Northern Ontario, so I was able to travel with this design design team to launch a rocket. Also was part of different projects, for example, launching a high altitude balloon. So we were launching balloons, test our experiments every couple of months, which was super fun. So I was able to work on engineering projects and get to meet different people, learn from them, and I learned a lot. This is how I got my internships, and I got internship at Airbus and at the Canadian Space Agency. All of this was through my involvement and my CV. And to find internships, they are really competitive. So if you have a design team or a project you're working on your CV, this is gonna really help you get a job. My advice, join a design team. It is really fun. I can talk more about it if you want in the next video about my experience with the McGill rocket team, launching high altitude balloons, joining, for example, SETS Canada, and all the different teams I was in. Talk more about them in more detail and how I landed my internship, for example. If you're interested in learning more about this, write down in the comment and I can do another video about this specific topic. So yeah, the last thing I have on here that I want to talk about is what I wish I knew and advice. There's a lot of things that I could go into right now, but I think for the sake of the video, the things I wish I knew before coming to McGill were, don't worry if you don't have everything figured out. It's very normal. Most of the students don't have everything figured out. For me personally, I came to Canada, and especially it was during COVID, so it was very hard to meet people, but I still did through Campus One. But still, during my first year, I was a bit lost. Didn't know what I exactly wanted to do. I knew I wanted to get into aerospace, work in the aerospace field. Always like felt not shy, but I was like afraid to go and reach out to people. And I was like, okay, what should I do now? Should I join the rocket team? Should I join the electric team? Once I started talking to people and getting involved, I knew where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. So yeah, this is my advice. Don't be afraid of reaching out. If you see a professor has an interesting project, don't be afraid of reaching out and asking him, hey, do you have any opportunities for me? I'm a student in mechanical, for example, and I'm looking for this. There's a conference that you're interested in. Be afraid going, even if you're by yourself, and asking questions like in the different booth and seeing what other people are doing. Another advice I would say also to students, there's a lot of opportunities for students to learn, go to conferences, a lot of resources that are here to help you. Please use them. So I'm going to give you an example. If you're interested in going to an aerospace conference or a space conference, the Canadian Space Agency, so the Space Agency of Canada, offers a lot of grants for students to go to conferences, even though they're not in Montreal. Outside of Montreal, they will pay for your flight, for your hotel, and for your conference ticket to go to this conference and learn. So this is one example. Of course, there's many out there. And keep looking, keep searching. If you want, I can do another video also about all the different resources I found during my undergraduate year, because those opportunities are going to help you get a job, an internship. Yeah, I think for this video, I said everything I wanted to say, and I hope I answered all of your questions. I can do also a part 2 if you're interested. So let me know in the comments below, and if you want to know about something specific. I hope you have a great summer. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye!